Hello, good morning. As you know that we have completed unit B, that is ecosystems and population change. Today we are going to start with new unit, that is unit C, in which we will study about photosynthesis and respiration. But before we proceed with the photosynthesis and respiration, we will discuss some general basic topics, like we will discuss about the structure of plant cell, animal cell, and the different organelles which are found in them. Because having an idea of the basic structure of the plant and animal cell and the organelles will help you to understand photosynthesis and respiration very easily. So you must know the organelles कि कौन सी organelle के अंदर क्या प्रोसेस चल रहा है, ठीक है, कौन से सेल के स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर, ठीक है, कौन से पार्ट के अंदर कौन सा रिएक्शन चल रहा है, उसका क्या रोल है. ओके, सो दैट विल बी वेरी हेल्पफुल इन फोटोसिंथेसिस एंड रेस्पिरेशन. नाउ इफ़ वी टॉक अबाउट डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ सेल्स और ऑर्गेनिजम्स, तो हमारे पास कौन कौन से सेल्स हो सकते हैं. वी हैव बैक्टीरियल सेल्स and you know that bacterial cells are found in kingdom Monera. This part we have discussed in classification system in the previous unit, in which we discussed about the different kingdoms like kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. So in kingdom Monera, we have the bacterial cells. Then in kingdom Protista, we will have some unicellular or multicellular eukaryotic cells. Then we have fungal cells, and then we have plant kingdom, animal kingdom, which includes plant cells and animal cells. So these are your different types of cells. Now in this unit, that is photosynthesis and respiration, we will mainly focus on the structure of plant cells and animal cells. जो आपकी photosynthesis है, that is going to take place in the plant cells, and respiration जो है दैट इज़ कॉमन टू बोथ प्लांट्स एज वेल एज एनिमल्स. ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ प्लांट्स ही आपके रेस्पिरेशन करेंगे या एनिमल्स ही करेंगे. रेस्पिरेशन जो है दैट इज़ कॉमन टू बोथ प्लांट्स एज वेल एज एनिमल्स, बट फोटोसिंथेसिस इज़ फाउंड ओनली इन प्लांट्स. Now, if we compare plant cell with the animal cell, the very basic difference between them is in the nature of cell wall. In case of plants, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. But in case of animal cells, the cell wall is absent. And due to this reason, the animal cells are quite flexible, okay, but plant cells are rigid. So cell wall is a structure which provides rigidity and strength to the cells. So due to the presence of cell wall made up of cellulose, the plant cells will be rigid, and animal cells without cell wall, they will be flexible. Then another important difference between plant cell and animal cell is the presence of plastids. In case of plant cells, plastids are present, but in case of animal cells, these are absent. Plastids are of three types: leucoplast, then we have chromoplast, and the third one is chloroplast. Leucoplast is colorless plastid, and it is responsible for the storage of food in plants. It can store fats or carbohydrates like in seeds. Then we have chromoplast. Chromo means colored. So chromoplast is the colorful plastid in the plants, and it is responsible for providing color to the fruits, vegetables, and flowers. You might have seen a tomato turning red in color. Okay? When the tomato is quite young, it is green in color, but as it matures, it turns red. Now, why this happens? Because as the tomato matures, the chloroplast changes into chromoplast. Chloroplast is green in color and chromoplast is colorful. So what happens when the tomato is young? तो उसके अंदर जो chloroplast है वो होगा, but when the tomato matures, this chloroplast is replaced by chromoplast, which will give red color to the tomato. And similarly, we have other fruits like we have mango, which are yellow, then orange. Okay, so these different colors are provided by the chromoplast. Even if you see flowers of the different colors, then that color of the flowers is also imparted by the chromoplast. Then we have chloroplast. Chloroplast is green in color, and it is green due to the presence of chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment which is responsible for absorbing solar radiations coming from the sun. And that solar energy is then converted into chemical energy by the process of photosynthesis. So, this is the role of different plastids. So, we have done two differences between the plants and animal cell. One is cell wall difference. Plants have cell wall, animals are without cell wall. Second, plastids. They are present in plants but absent in animals. Then another difference is plant cells are larger in size and animal cells are smaller in size. The other important difference is in case of plant cells, the vacuole is present in the center of the cell and the vacuole is very large. Almost about 70% of the space inside the plant cell is occupied by the vacuole. So, vacuole is holding a central place in the plant cell. You can see here. This is the vacuole. Okay, so it is occupying the central location in the plant cell. On the other hand, if you look at the animal cell, then here the central location is occupied by the nucleus. In case of plant cell, nucleus was present at the periphery of the cell. It was present at one side, whereas central position is occupied by the vacuole. But in case of animal cell, central position is occupied by the nucleus and vacuoles are very small and they are few in number. Whereas plant cell में एक ही vacuole होती है and that is quite large vacuole. So that is another important difference. Then one more difference is there, centrosome. Centrosome is the organelle which is responsible for the cell division and it is found only in animal cells but not in plants. Now you will wonder that plant cells also need to divide, right? They are also increasing their cell number, they are also reproducing, so they also need to divide. So how they will divide if they don't have centrosomes? Basically, the mechanism for the cell division is different in plant cells and animal cells. In animal cells, these are the centrosomes which are going to help in the cell division and splitting the cell into two daughter cells. Whereas in case of plant cells, we have cell plate. So centrosomes are not there. They have some other proteins which can help in the cell division. Okay, so this was the basic difference between the plant and animal cell. So this is the detailed diagram of the plant cell. You can see the outer most wall, this green in color, is a cell wall. And then below the cell wall, we have cell membrane. Cell membrane is common to both plant and animal. In fact, cell membrane is universal. It will be found in each and every cell, whether it is bacterial cell, fungal cell, plant cell, or animal cell. It is present in all the types of cells. Okay, so in case of plant cells, the outermost layer is cell wall. Next to it is cell membrane or plasma membrane. Then central position is occupied by the vacuole. Then apart from these parts, there is nucleus, which contains genetic material, that is DNA, and that is responsible for the transmission of characters from one generation to the next. Then we have ribosome, which is actually the protein factory of the cell that helps in the synthesis of proteins. Then we have ER, that is endoplasmic reticulum. Then we have actin filaments. Okay, actin filaments जो हैं, they actually form the skeleton of the cell. Like in humans, bones are forming the skeleton, they are forming the basic framework, basic structure of the human body. But in case of plant cells or animal cells, मतलब जो सेल है, बेसिक सेल का जो स्ट्रक्चर है, जो सेल का स्केलेटन होगा, that is made by microtubules and actin filaments. Then peroxisome is there. Peroxisome is found in both plant cells as well as animal cells, and it is involved in conversion of fatty acids to sugars in case of plants. Okay, when the fatty acids are converted into sugars, the seeds will get energy for the germination and they will germinate to form new plant. So seeds need sugar while they are germinating. So peroxisome will help in that process. Apart from converting fatty acids into sugars, peroxisomes are also involved in the lipid metabolism, that is the metabolism of fatty acids, breakdown of fatty acids. Then it is involved in the detoxification reactions in the human body. Okay. Apart from peroxisome, smooth endoplasmic reticulum is also involved in detoxification reactions in the human body. And that is particularly found in the liver in abundance. No doubt ER is present in each and every cell, but if we talk about human body, तो सबसे ज़्यादा जो endoplasmic reticulum आपको मिलेगा, smooth one. There are two types of ER, rough and smooth. तो सबसे ज़्यादा जो आपको smooth ER है, that will be found in the liver cells, because liver cells are involved in the detoxification reactions in the body. जो भी आप मेडिसिन खाते हो, ठीक है, या कोई भी ड्रग कंज्यूम कर रहा है, मेडिसिन जो हैं दे विल कम अंडर द ड्रग्स कैटेगरी. या फिर कोई अल्कोहल कंज्यूम कर रहा है, तो उसका जो पूरा का पूरा जो डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन करती है बॉडी, वो एक्चुअली लिवर करेगा. एंड लिवर में कौन सी ऑर्गेनली रिस्पॉन्सिबल होगी इसके लिए? स्मूथ एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिक्यूलम. Here we have animal cell. So in animal cell there is no cell wall. So the outermost layer will be cell membrane or plasma membrane. Then we have vacuole, that is very small, and the central position is occupied by the nucleus. Ribosomes are there. Mitochondria is there. Mitochondria was present in plant cell as well. Okay, so this is the mitochondria. And mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell that is responsible for the production of cellular energy in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Now let's discuss the function of these cell parts one by one. First we have cell membrane, or you also call it as plasma membrane. Now it is universal, which means it is found in each and every type of cell. And the main function of plasma membrane is to separate the internal contents of the cell from external surrounding medium, and it will also help in the movement of substances in and out of the cell. अगर प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन नहीं होगी, इट मीन्स सेल का कोई भी बैरियर नहीं होगा, ठीक है, सेल को कोई प्रोटेक्ट करने वाला नहीं होगा, और जो भी सेल के इंटरनल कंटेंट्स होंगे दे विल लीक आउट. So basic function is of plasma membrane is to separate the internal contents of the cell from the external environment, and जो भी movement होती है substances की in and out of the cell, that will also take place through plasma membrane. Next we have cytoplasm. You can see this white background substance, creamish background substance present in the cell. This is actually jelly-like liquid, and this jelly-like liquid is holding all the organelles or different parts of the cell. ठीक है, जैसे हमारे अंदर क्या होता है, ब्लड है, ब्लड वेजल्स के अंदर ब्लड रन कर रहा है. इन द सेम वे जो आपके सेल्स होते हैं या प्लांट सेल्स होते हैं, कोई भी सेल हो, चाहे वो बैक्टीरियल सेल हो, फंगल सेल हो, हर किसी के अंदर साइटोप्लाज्म होगा. दैट इज़ एक्चुअली जेली लाइक लिक्विड पार्ट ऑफ द सेल in which different organelles remains suspended. And apart from holding different organelles in the cell, it also contains some proteins, salts, sugars, minerals, enzymes, and hormones which are responsible for biochemical reactions inside the cell. Then we have nucleus. Okay, that is very important part of the cell, and it contains DNA, that is also called blueprint. Why it is called blueprint? Because it contains all the information for making proteins in your body. It contains all the information to control basic processes in your body. So that is very important component of your cell. Nucleus contains DNA, that is deoxyribose nucleic acid. This DNA is converted into RNA, which is called as ribose nucleic acid or ribonucleic acid. Then this RNA is converted into proteins. So this is how proteins are formed in the different organisms. Okay, DNA RNA में convert होता है, RNA से फिर proteins बनते हैं. So it means आपके DNA के पास जो है that contains genetic information that is going to control that which type of protein will be formed in your body. So इसी के पास सारी information होती है DNA के पास. Now DNA जो है that is converted into RNA in the nucleus. Our RNA is converted into protein in cytoplasm. I am repeating, DNA RNA में convert कहाँ पे होगा? न्यूक्लियस के अंदर. और RNA को प्रोटीन बनाना है तो उसके लिए RNA को न्यूक्लियस से बाहर आना पड़ेगा साइटोप्लाज्म में. So protein synthesis will take place in cytoplasm. Now why RNA synthesis cannot protein synthesis cannot take place inside the nucleus? Because जो ribosomes हैं, they are called as protein factories of your cell. They are responsible for the manufacturing of proteins. They are present in the cytoplasm, not in the nucleus. And the whole machinery which is required for the protein synthesis, that is present in the cytoplasm, not in the nucleus. That's why the RNA which is formed in the nucleus, that has to come out of the nucleus in the cytoplasm so that it can help in the protein formation. I'm making diagram of the nucleus. Okay, it is very basic diagram of the nucleus, just to make you understand. Okay, so this is outer nuclear membrane, just like the outer part of the cell is plasma membrane. The other organelles, okay, which are present inside the cell, they also have membrane. अदरवाइज क्या होगा, जितनी भी ऑर्गेनलीज हैं उन सब के कंटेंट्स तो साइटोप्लाज्म में मिक्स हो जाएंगे, दे विल लीक आउट, सब कुछ सेल के साइटोप्लाज्म में मिक्स हो जाएगा. सो वी नीड टू मेंटेन अ बैरियर. तो इसके लिए जितनी भी ऑर्गेनलीज होती हैं आपके सेल के अंदर, दे ऑल्सो हैव दिस प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन और सेल मेम्ब्रेन. सो न्यूक्लियस जो है दैट इज बेयरिंग डबल मेम्ब्रेन. एक होती है इसके पास आउटर न्यूक्लियर membrane and this one is inner nuclear membrane. And you can notice that I have left some gaps in the membrane, like this is gap here, gap, then here, right? तो ये जो gaps हैं, they are actually called as nuclear pores. And nuclear pores are going to help in the transportation of substances in and out of the nucleus. Like I just told you that RNA is formed from the DNA inside the nucleus, and then this RNA needs to come out of the nucleus in the cytoplasm so that it can help in the protein formation. So RNA will come out of the nucleus through the nuclear pores only, right? Because there is no other gap in the nucleus from where RNA can come out. So ये जो छोटे छोटे gaps हैं present between the membrane, जहाँ पे nuclear membrane जो है वो continuity में नहीं है, it is a place, that is nuclear pore, from where the RNA is going to come out, or it is the place from where any substance can enter in and out of the nucleus. Then you can see a round body present inside the nucleus. It is generally located in the center of the nucleus. And this is called as nucleolus. Okay. This central body, dark colored body, is the nucleolus. And the main function of nucleolus is the formation of ribosomes. Then here you can see thread-like structure, coiled thread-like structure, that is called as chromatin. Chromatin is actually your DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. Now you will come to know about two terms. One is chromatin and the another one is chromosome. Chromatin and chromosome. Chromatin is actually your thin thread-like structure of DNA. Okay, thin thread-like structure of the DNA. जैसे एक धागा होता है ना, आप धागे को ऐसे स्प्रेड करके रख दो, ठीक है, तो उसी की तरह आपका क्रोमैटिन होता है. बट अगर आप उस थ्रेड को क्वाइल कर दो, ठीक है, बार बार उसको क्वाइल करते रहो, पैक करते रहो, तो दैट विल बी अरेंज्ड इन द कॉम्पैक्ट स्मॉल फॉर्म. In the same way, this chromatin, when packed, okay, when coiled, it will attain a particular shape, X-shaped structure that is called as chromosome. So chromatin जो है वो आपका एक uncoiled thread like structure है, और जो chromosome है that is your coiled and compact structure. So the main difference between chromatin and chromosome lies in the structure. है दोनों DNA, chromatin भी DNA है, chromosome भी DNA है. डिफरेंस क्या है? क्रोमैटिन जो है वो ऐसे धागे की तरह बिखरा हुआ है, अनकॉइल्ड है, और जो क्रोमोसोम है वो कब बनता है? जब हम क्रोमैटिन को कॉइल कर देते हैं, अच्छे से पैक कर देते हैं, देन इट विल अटेन दिस पर्टिकुलर शेप दैट इज कॉल्ड एज क्रोमोसोम. And it is actually chromatin or chromosome that contains your DNA, and it is responsible for the transmission of genetic characters from one generation to the next. And it contains all the information to control all the processes of your cell. So we also call nucleus as the brain or headquarter of the cell और CPU ऑफ द सेल, बिकॉज न्यूक्लियस के अंदर ही डीएनए है और डीएनए के पास ही सारी इन्फॉर्मेशन है जो कि आपके पूरे सेल के फंक्शंस को रेगुलेट करेगी, कंट्रोल करेगी, राइट. सो दैट्स वाई इट इज़ कॉल्ड हेडक्वार्टर, ब्रेन और CPU ऑफ द सेल. सो हियर यू कैन सी क्रोमैटिन है, thin thread like structure is there, nucleolus is there, nuclear pores are there. Okay, next we have endoplasmic reticulum. Now endoplasmic reticulum is actually membrane bound sacs and tubes which are present in continuity with the nuclear membrane. Here you can see ये आपका न्यूक्लियस है, और ये वाला जो पार्ट है this part is endoplasmic reticulum, and this part is the Golgi. This is nucleus, this is ER, this is Golgi. And you need to note one thing कि चाहे वो कोई भी सेल हो, चाहे वो आपका प्लांट सेल है, चाहे वो आपका एनिमल सेल है, ये हमेशा तीनों एक ही साथ प्रेजेंट होते हैं. न्यूक्लियस होता है, न्यूक्लियस के साथ ही आपका एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम अटैच होता है, और उसके जस्ट बाद आपका होता है गोल्जी. सो दे आर प्रेजेंट इन अ सीक्वेंस, न्यूक्लियस, ER एंड गोल्जी. देयर इज सम रीज़न फॉर दैट. न्यूक्लियस के अंदर RNA है, RNA बाहर आएगा न्यूक्लियस से और वो प्रोटीन बनाएगा. प्रोटीन्स बनने के लिए आपको राइबोसोम चाहिए. जो राइबोसोम्स होते हैं दे आर अटैच टू द ER. राइबोसोम्स आर द प्रोटीन फैक्ट्रीज ऑफ द सेल, एंड राइबोसोम्स बनते कहाँ पे हैं? न्यूक्लियोलस में. दैट इज अ सेंट्रल बॉडी प्रेजेंट इनसाइड द न्यूक्लियस. तो राइबोसोम्स भी न्यूक्लियस के अंदर बन रहे हैं, न्यूक्लियोलस बना रहा है, और जो RNA है वो भी न्यूक्लियस के अंदर बन रहा है. अब राइबोसोम्स भी न्यूक्लियस से बाहर आएंगे, RNA भी न्यूक्लियस से बाहर आएगा. कहाँ से बाहर आएंगे? न्यूक्लियर पोर्स के थ्रू. राइबोसोम्स आ जाएंगे एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम के साथ, ER के साथ अटैच हो जाएंगे वो. ओके. एंड इफ राइबोसोम्स आर अटैच्ड टू द सरफेस ऑफ ER, it is called as rough ER or rough endoplasmic reticulum. And the endoplasmic reticulum without ribosomes on its surface, that will be called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. If you look at the electronic micrograph or microscopic structure of the ER, you will find that if the surface of ER appears to be rough, then it will have ribosomes attached to its surface. Okay, that's why surface appears to be rough. So that's why it is called rough ER. On the other hand, the one which is without ribosomes attached to it, that is called smooth. तो न्यूक्लियस से बाहर आपका आरएनए भी आ गया, राइबोसोम भी आ गए, राइबोसोम आपके ईआर के साथ अटैच हो गए, तो अब प्रोटीन तो ईआर में ही बनेगा क्योंकि राइबोसोम्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द प्रोटीन फॉर्मेशन। आरएनए भी बाहर आ चुके हैं, आरएनए भी प्रोटीन बनाएगा अब, तो ईआर में आपके प्रोटीन्स बनेंगे। अब प्रोटीन्स तो आपने बना लिए, बट आपकी बॉडी में या प्लांट की बॉडी में उस प्रोटीन की रिक्वायरमेंट कहाँ पे है, उस प्रोटीन को आपने पैक करके कहाँ भेजना है, दैट विल बी डन बाय द गोल्जी। जस्ट लाइक यू ऑर्डर समथिंग ऑनलाइन, ठीक है, जैसे अमेज़ॉन से या फ्लिपकार्ट से हम कुछ भी ऑर्डर करते हैं तो उसको प्रॉपर पैक करके एड्रेस तक पहुंचा देते हैं, राइट। इन द सेम वे गोल्जी का यही काम है। गोल्जी क्या करेगा कि एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम के अंदर जो भी प्रोटीन्स बन रहे हैं वो उन प्रोटीन्स को पैक करेगा और फिर उसको डिस्पैच कर देगा। सो दैट्स वाई ये तीनों एक सीक्वेंस में प्रेजेंट होते हैं, ओके, न्यूक्लियस, ईआर एंड देन गोल्जी। So here you can give it a read. Rough ER, which is studded with ribosomes and synthesized proteins. ठीक है, तो रफ वाले के पास राइबोसोम है, वो प्रोटीन बनाएगा। स्मूथ वाले के पास राइबोसोम नहीं है, तो वो क्या बनाएगा, वो लिपिड्स बनाएगा। लिपिड्स और फैट्स बोथ आर सेम थिंग। So smooth ER is involved in the synthesis of lipids, and one more very important function of the smooth ER is detoxification of the drugs and poisons in the liver. Detoxification of drugs or poisons in liver in case of animal cells. Then we have Golgi apparatus. Okay, Golgi apparatus is present just after the ER, and it is responsible for packaging of proteins and lipids and sending them to the different target site in the plant body or animal body, right? So you can read, it is responsible for modifying proteins and lipids. Proteins and lipids कौन बना रहा है, ER. Proteins are formed by rough ER, lipids are formed by smooth ER. अब प्रोटीन्स और लिपिड्स तो बन गए, उनको थोड़ा मॉडिफाई करने की भी ज़रूरत है क्योंकि आपके या प्लांट की बॉडी में वो प्रोटीन एंड लिपिड्स एज इट इज़ यूज़ नहीं होते, दे नीड टू बी मॉडिफाइड। तो वो मॉडिफिकेशन भी गोल्जी करेगा, उसके बाद उनकी पैकेजिंग भी करेगा और उनकी डिस्पैचिंग भी करेगा। ओके, इट विल ट्रांसपोर्ट इट टू द डिफरेंट target sites. And Golgi apparatus plays another important role, that is the formation of lysosomes. Lysosomes are called as suicidal bags of the cell. Now why lysosomes are called as suicidal bags? Whenever there is any damage or malfunctioning in the cell, or cell stops working due to some reason, then what will happen? The lysosome of the cell will burst to release its hydrolytic digestive enzymes and it will eat its own cell. ठीक है, तो मान लो जैसे आपका ये कोई सेल है, दिस इज द साइटोप्लाज्म ऑफ द सेल, और यहाँ पे है लाइसोसोम। अब ये जो आपका सेल है इसने काम करना बंद कर दिया, ठीक है, इट स्टॉप्ड वर्किंग ड्यू टू सम रीज़न, देन व्हाट विल हैपन, दिस लाइसोसोम विल बर्स्ट। और लाइसोसोम के अंदर क्या होता है, इट कंटेन्स हाइड्रोलिटिक डाइजेस्टिव एंजाइम्स जो कि प्रोटीन्स, कार्बोहाइड्रेट, लिपिड्स को डाइजेस्ट कर देती है। तो सेल जो है उसमें कोई भी डैमेज हो गया, सेल काम नहीं कर रहा, तो ये लाइसोसोम बर्स्ट कर जाएगा और इसके अंदर जो भी हाइड्रोलिटिक डाइजेस्टिव एंजाइम्स हैं वो इस सेल के अंदर रिलीज़ हो जाएंगी। and these hydrolytic enzymes will digest whole cell. इसका मतलब लाइसोसोम जिस सेल के अंदर है वो उसी सेल को ख़त्म कर रहा है, डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहा है. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज़ कॉल्ड सुसाइडल बैग ऑफ द सेल. अपार्ट फ्रॉम destroying this malfunctioned or damaged cell, it is also called as recycling unit of the cell. Okay, lysosome जो है that is called recycling unit of the cell. Why it is called recycling unit? Whenever the cell is damaged or destroyed, ठीक है, तो ये अपने सेल को पूरा डाइजेस्ट कर जाएगा. Now when the cell is digested, some proteins, carbohydrates, fats will be broken down. तो उसका जो भी एंड प्रोडक्ट होता है, ठीक है, जो भी बाय प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं उसकी ब्रेकडाउन से जो निकलते हैं, दे कैन बी रीयूज्ड इन द बॉडी. आपने कार्ब्स को तोड़ा तो उससे कुछ आपको मिलेगा, फैट्स को तोड़ा तो आपको फैटी एसिड, ग्लिसरॉल मिल जाएंगे, ठीक है. आपने प्रोटीन्स को तोड़ा, आपको अमीनो एसिड्स मिल जाएंगे. So those components can be reutilized in your body or plant's body. That's why it is called recycling unit. Apart from being called as recycling unit, they are also called as scavengers of the cell. Scavengers हम किसको बोलते हैं? जो क्लीन करते हैं, क्लीनिंग करते हैं. ओके, तो लाइसोसोम्स किसकी क्लीनिंग कर रहे हैं? अब आपकी बॉडी में या प्लांट की बॉडी में रोज़ कितने सेल मरते होंगे? Let's take the example of skin. Our skin is exposed to harsh chemicals, sunlight, right? And daily large number of skin cells जो हैं उनकी डेथ होती है and they are replaced by new cells. अब वो वाले सेल जिनकी डेथ हो रही है, ठीक है, यहाँ हमारी बॉडी के अंदर बहुत सारे सेल्स हैं स्किन सेल्स के अलावा भी, जो कि आफ्टर फिक्स पीरियड ऑफ टाइम उनकी डेथ हो जाती है, राइट, एंड दे आर रिप्लेस्ड बाय न्यू सेल्स. तो ये जो सेल मर रहे हैं, जिनकी डेथ हो रही है, ये कहाँ पे जा रहे हैं? ये तो आपकी बॉडी में अंदर इकट्ठे हो जाएंगे, राइट. तो आपकी बॉडी में तो बहुत गार्बेज इकट्ठा हो जाएगा. सो देयर मस्ट बी सम ऑर्गेनेली विच इज़ क्लियरिंग इट. तो दैट इज़ द लाइसोसोम. तो आपकी बॉडी के अंदर जितने भी वॉर्न आउट सेल्स हैं, वॉर्न आउट सेल ऑर्गेनलीज हैं, ये उसको क्लियर करेगा आपकी बॉडी से या प्लांट्स की बॉडी में से. सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज़ ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज स्क्वेंजर. Mitochondria, that is the powerhouse of the cell, where the organic molecules, mainly the carbohydrates, they will be broken down to release energy. I'll give you very simple example. आप खाना खाते हो. खाना क्यों खाते हो? क्योंकि आपको एनर्जी मिलती है. अब वो एनर्जी आपको किस प्रोसेस से मिलती है? रेस्पिरेशन से. So respiration is the main process which gives you energy. Respiration actually means breakdown of food to release energy. तो जो भी आप खाना खा रहे हो उसमें कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स होते हैं. Carbohydrates are broken down in the mitochondria and energy is released. ठीक है, तो जो भी आप खाना खाते हो उसका ब्रेकडाउन होता है आपकी बॉडी में और उससे एनर्जी रिलीज होती है in the form of ATP. So that job is done by mitochondria. It means respiration में जो आपकी ऑर्गेनली इन्वॉल्व होगी that will be mitochondria. So that is also called as powerhouse of the cell. Next we have peroxisomes. Peroxisomes जो हैं they are found in both plant cell as well as animal cell, and they play a very important role in the breakdown of lipids. Lipids means fats, and they also help in the breakdown of toxic waste products in the plant body or animal body. And another important function of peroxisomes in the plants is they convert the fatty acid into sugars, and these sugars will be used by the seeds during their germination period when they germinate to form the new plant. Then we have vesicles. Vesicles play a very important role in the transportation of different substances in the cell. ओके आपको एग्जांपल दी थी मैंने अभी अमेज़ॉन या फ्लिपकार्ट की, तो आपने कहा वहाँ से कुछ ऑर्डर किया, राइट। अब वो जो अमेज़ॉन या फ्लिपकार्ट है, आपका ऑर्डर ऐसे ही तो नहीं भेज देगा, उसको पैक करेगा पहले, राइट। क्योंकि अगर उसको पैक नहीं किया तो वो ड्यूरिंग ट्रांसपोर्टेशन डैमेज हो जाएगा, तो उसको पैक करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। तो वो कार्टन्स ले लेते हैं, कार्टन्स में उसको पैक कर देते हैं। बट आपकी बॉडी में तो कार्टन्स हैं नहीं, अब ना ही प्लांट बॉडी में है, राइट। तो पैक किस में करेंगे, पैकेजिंग किस में करेंगे, वेसिकल्स में। सो वेसिकल्स को आप एज अ कार्टन मान लो कि कार्टन में हम पैक कर देते हैं, राइट। तो आई टोल्ड यू कि न्यूक्लियस होता है, ईआर होता है, गोल्जी होता है। गोल्जी क्या करता है, प्रोटीन्स और लिपिड्स को पैक करता है और फिर उसको टारगेट साइट तक डिस्पैच करता है। तो ये पैक किस में करेगा, वेसिकल्स में। सो वेसिकल्स आर वेरी स्मॉल राउंड बॉडीज। Here you can see vesicle is there, that is very small round body in which proteins and fats can be packed. Then we have vacuole. In case of plant cell, it is occupying the central position and it is very large. While in case of animal cells, they are not present in the center and they are very few in number and they are extremely small. A vacuole जो है that actually contains some fluid filled material and that also helps in the temporary storage of food and water, ठीक है। जो भी plant या animal की body में extra food होता है, extra water होता है, वो vacuole में जाके store हो जाता है। Apart from storing apart from storing food and water, it can also store waste material and some waste products in the cell. वैक्यूल जो है दैट इज सिंगल मेम्ब्रेन ऑर्गेनेली, ठीक है। इसके पास सिंगल मेम्ब्रेन होती है, जैसे मैंने न्यूक्लियस का डायग्राम ड्रॉ किया था तो उसके पास दो मेम्ब्रेन थी, आउटर एंड इनर वन। बट जो आपकी वैक्यूल है दैट कंटेन्स ओनली वन सिंगल मेम्ब्रेन। द मेम्ब्रेन इज कॉल्ड एज टोनोप्लास्ट and the liquid content which is present inside the vacuole, that is called as cell sap. Okay, so this is the diagram of the vacuole. One single membrane called tonoplast and the liquid material that is in the vacuole, that is called as cell sap. ये liquid material आपका कोई food material भी हो सकता है, water भी हो सकता है, waste material भी हो सकता है. Now vacuole play a very important role in the osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means maintaining water balance of the cell. If your cell contains excess amount of water, then that extra amount of water will enter inside the vacuole. So vacuole will store that extra water. But if your cell is dehydrated, then that extra amount of water which is stored inside the vacuole, that can be released out. So in this way, it can help in maintaining water balance of the cell, that is called osmoregulation. Then cytoskeleton is there. Cytoskeleton जो है that is basically forming the skeleton of the cell. Just like in our body we have bones which form the skeleton. In the cells there is cytoskeleton, and that cytoskeleton is made up of some proteins like actin, microtubule, intermediate filaments. These are different type of proteins which are going to form the framework and structural support of the cell. Okay, these are type of fibers and proteins. So these are some basic organelles of plant cell, animal cell. Okay, these organelles are not present in bacteria. I told you कि जो प्रोकैरियोटिक cells होते हैं उनके पास कोई भी ऑर्गेनली नहीं होती एक्सेप्ट फॉर द राइबोसोम, ठीक है। राइबोसोम होगा उनके पास, बाकी और कोई भी ऑर्गेनली नहीं होती। बट फंगस, प्लांट सेल, एनिमल सेल्स के पास ये ऑर्गेनलीज होती हैं। So this was about the different parts and organelles of the cell. Now we have to discuss about the cell membrane in detail, that what cell membrane is made up of, how it helps in the transportation of substances in and out of the cell. Okay, this is the structure. Then we have active and passive transport that we will discuss in the cell membrane part, that we will discuss in the next class. Okay, so that's all for today. Bye bye, take care.